per square foot method is employed when pricing a residential addition, offering a quick and straightforward way to obtain a ballpark estimate for the project's expense. A rate ranging from $150 to $200 per square foot is typically utilized for a basic addition, with adjustments made for supplementary features or finishes. One advantage is its speed and ease. You can determine an estimated cost by multiplying the square footage of the addition by the chosen rate. Another advantage is accuracy. With experience in similar endeavors, the per square foot method can yield reasonably accurate results. Also, it's easy to adjust. The per square foot rate can be readily modified to accommodate various factors such as the project's location, the addition's complexity, and the quality of materials employed. However, there are disadvantages. It can be inaccurate if you lack experience with comparable projects. Adjusting can be difficult. Adapting the per square foot rate to account for elements like location, complexity, and material quality can pose challenges. Overall, the per square foot method proves to be a valuable asset for pricing residential additions. It's efficient, simple, accurate, and adaptable to different circumstances. Here are some pointers for employing the per square foot method. Use a rate suited to your area. Construction expenses can vary considerably across regions. Ensure the rate aligns with your locale. Adjust the rate for the complexity of the addition. A basic addition will incur lower costs per square foot than a more intricate one. Modify the rate accordingly. Factor in additional features or finishes. When incorporating extra features or finishes into the addition, augment the per square foot rate to reflect these enhancements. By adhering to these guidelines, you can leverage the per square foot method to swiftly and effortlessly derive a preliminary estimate for the cost of your residential addition. When venturing into a residential addition project, accurately estimating the cost is paramount. One widely used technique is the per square foot method, a straightforward approach that offers a quick ballpark figure. This method involves multiplying the square footage of the intended addition by a predetermined rate. For instance, a basic addition might be priced at $150 to $200 per square foot. However, this base rate is merely a starting point. Additional features, premium finishes, and project-specific complexities necessitate upward adjustments to the initial estimate. The beauty of the per square foot method lies in its simplicity and speed. It allows for a rapid assessment of the project's potential cost, facilitating preliminary budgeting and decision-making. Its accuracy, however, hinges on the estimator's experience with similar projects. Seasoned professionals can leverage their past experiences to refine the rate, taking into account local market conditions, material costs, and labor expenses. Flexibility is another hallmark of this method. The per square foot rate is not set in stone. It can be tailored to accommodate a multitude of factors. A project located in an expensive urban area will naturally command a higher rate than one in a rural setting. Similarly, an addition featuring intricate architectural details and high-end materials will necessitate a higher rate than a standard, no-frills expansion. Despite its advantages, the per square foot method is not without its limitations. Inexperienced estimators may find it challenging to accurately determine the appropriate rate, leading to inaccurate estimates. The method's reliance on averages can also mask unforeseen complexities or unique project requirements, potentially resulting in budget overruns. To mitigate these drawbacks, it's crucial to supplement the per square foot method with a detailed analysis of the project's specific requirements. This involves carefully considering the scope of work, the materials to be used, the labor involved, and any potential challenges that may arise. By combining the speed and simplicity of the per square foot method with a thorough understanding of the project's intricacies, estimators can arrive at more accurate and reliable cost projections. Here's a step-by-step guide to effectively utilizing the per square foot method. Firstly, determine the square footage of the proposed addition. This involves measuring the length and width of the space and multiplying the two figures. Secondly, establish a base rate per square foot. Research local construction costs, consult with industry professionals, and review past project data to arrive at a reasonable starting point. Remember to factor in the geographic location, the prevailing market conditions, and the overall quality of construction. Thirdly, adjust the base rate to reflect the project's specific characteristics. Consider the complexity of the design, the type of materials to be used, the level of finish required, and any unique challenges that may be encountered. Increase the rate for projects with intricate details, high-end materials, or difficult site conditions. Fourthly, add allowances for additional features and finishes. Include costs for items such as custom cabinetry, upgraded appliances, specialized lighting, and premium flooring. Consult with subcontractors and suppliers to obtain accurate pricing for these elements. Fifthly, incorporate a contingency allowance to account for unforeseen expenses. A contingency of 5 to 10% of the total project cost is generally recommended to cover unexpected issues or changes in scope. Sixthly, review and refine the estimate. Carefully scrutinize all assumptions, calculations, and allowances to ensure accuracy and completeness. Seek input from experienced professionals to identify potential errors or omissions. By following these steps, you can harness the power of the per square foot method to generate reliable cost estimates for residential addition projects. Remember that this method is best used as a preliminary tool to be supplemented with more detailed analysis as the project progresses. In addition to the steps outlined above, there are several other factors to consider when using the per square foot method. Firstly, consider the type of addition. A simple bump-out addition will typically cost less per square foot than a multi-story addition with complex structural modifications. Secondly, consider the existing structure. The condition of the existing structure can significantly impact the cost of the addition. If the existing structure is old or in poor repair, additional work may be required to ensure its stability and compatibility with the new addition. Thirdly, consider the site conditions. Site conditions such as soil type, drainage, and accessibility can also affect the cost of the addition. Difficult site conditions may require specialized equipment or techniques, increasing the overall cost. Fourthly, consider the building codes and regulations. Building codes and regulations can vary depending on the location of the project. It's important to be familiar with the applicable codes and regulations to ensure that the addition meets all requirements. Fifthly, consider the permits and fees. Permits and fees can add to the overall cost of the addition. Be sure to factor in the cost of obtaining the necessary permits and paying any applicable fees. Sixthly, consider the insurance. Adequate insurance coverage is essential to protect against potential losses during the construction process. Be sure to review your insurance policies to ensure that you have adequate coverage. In conclusion, the per square foot method is a valuable tool for estimating the cost of residential additions. However, it's important to use this method with caution and to supplement it with a detailed analysis of the project's specific requirements. By carefully considering all of the relevant factors, you can arrive at a more accurate and reliable cost projection. When dealing with pricing strategies for residential additions, the per square foot method can be a convenient starting point, but remember its limitations. Think of it as a quick sketch, not the final blueprint. Firstly, local market conditions significantly impact construction costs. Rates in Massachusetts, for example, could be vastly different from those in other states due to varying labor costs, material availability, and permitting fees. Therefore, relying on national averages might lead to inaccurate estimates. Secondly, the complexity of the design plays a crucial role. A simple rectangular addition with standard windows and doors will invariably cost less per square foot than a complex design involving custom windows, intricate roofing, or specialized structural elements. Thirdly, material selection has a considerable impact on pricing. Opting for high-end finishes like marble countertops, hardwood flooring, or custom cabinetry will drastically increase the per square foot cost compared to using more economical alternatives. Fourthly, site conditions and accessibility can add unforeseen expenses. If the site has challenging terrain, requires extensive excavation, or has limited access for equipment, these factors will inflate the overall project cost. Fifthly, the scope of work beyond the basic structure needs to be considered. This includes electrical, plumbing, HVAC systems, insulation, and interior finishes. Each of these elements contributes to the overall cost per square foot. Sixthly, permits, inspections, and other regulatory fees should be factored in. These costs can vary significantly depending on the municipality and the complexity of the project. Seventhly, a contingency fund is essential to account for unexpected issues or changes during construction. Aim for at least 5 to 10% of the total project cost to cover unforeseen circumstances. In addition to these factors, remember that the per square foot method is primarily useful for preliminary estimates. It should not be used as the sole basis for a final contract price. A more detailed estimate should be developed by a qualified contractor that considers all aspects of the project. Here are some tips for improving the accuracy of your per square foot estimates. 1. Gather local cost data. Research recent construction projects in your area to determine prevailing rates for similar additions. 2. Consult with experienced contractors and subcontractors. Obtain quotes from multiple contractors to get a realistic understanding of the current market prices. 3. Break down the project into smaller components. Estimate the cost of each component separately, such as framing, roofing, electrical, and plumbing, and then add them together. 4. Use a cost estimating software. These tools can help you track costs, manage budgets, and generate more accurate estimates. 5. Factor in inflation and market fluctuations. Construction costs are constantly changing, so it's important to account for potential increases in material and labor prices. By following these tips, you can improve the accuracy of your per square foot estimates and avoid costly surprises. Remember that the per square foot method is a valuable tool, but it should be used in conjunction with other estimating techniques and a thorough understanding of the project's specific requirements.